All right, that is our first sale. All right, I finally decided I'm gonna make everything public. You see, I have been working on my third app for the past month. I used Weweb and Xano to build this app called Instagram.ai. This app lets you upload few selfies and the AI model will generate beautiful portraits of you. And as you can see on the screen, I'm using Elon as a test here. The app was launched using Facebook ads and I even got my first customer. While I built the app, I also did something. I screen recorded the entire process from scratch using Weweb and Xano. I showed how to build everything I have built inside the app, the authentication, the integrations, the AI models, everything. And not just that. I remember my first two apps, I had partners because I didn't know how to take care of marketing. I didn't know how to take care of the distribution. So what I did was I run my own Facebook ads for the third app, and I also got my first customer using Facebook ads. So I'm also including that in this free YouTube series. If you're watching this video, that means you are probably watching one of the videos from the set series. So if you want to watch the full series, I will have a playlist of that in my YouTube channel. And if you want to work with me or my team, you can also look at the links in the description and get in touch with me as well. By the way, before you jump into the video, a word of caution. These videos are filmed raw. That means there is very minimal editing, almost no editing. So there will be a lot of head scratches. There will be moments where I don't know what the heck to do. So I'll be thinking and, doing stupid things, but eventually we figure it out, right? If you're watching the series, that means the app was launched and we made our first sale and the user is happy with that. All right. So with that said, let's jump into the series. Thank you. All right. We are now going to create an endpoint to create our images with the LoRa files. The challenge I see now is in the documentation, it's not very clear on how to send the values and everything, especially the LoRa file. So here I wish they mentioned how we can send the LoRa files. So here LoRa's, it's a list, so we'll try to include it as a list. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Claude to write proper curl. I want to make this a proper curl, add more stuff to data, and what do I need? I need image size. So I'm gonna copy this, put it in Claude, right? So this is how I'm doing image size. And what else? Num interface steps. Yeah, we need that. Then we don't need seed, but we need LoRa's. Okay, so LoRa's and default value of LoRa will be, let's just use one of our LoRa model URLs. We'll copy that. And what else do we need? LoRa list. Control nets, we don't need it. Control net union, don't need it. Guidance scale, we will do that. Guidance scale, we'll do that. Sync mode, don't need it. We will get it through CDN. Num images, we will do that because maybe we will in future we may decide to change it. Enable safety check. This should be a good idea to include, and we will not allow any NSFW content in our app. Okay, so I gave everything to Claude. Let's see how the output is going to look like. So there's a prompt. Loras is an array, but we just have one LoRa, and image size num interface LoRa. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we will create a function. We had a fal image generate prompt function, right? So instead of that, we will do a fal generate image from LoRa. This is what we're gonna do, and we'll enable request settings. I like to do this as a function because I know I can use this. I mean, I can build this entire thing in that create image endpoint, but I like to segment things. You might already know my preferences by now. Okay, so for input, we will need a prompt, right? Prompt is required, and we will need an image size, and this image size will be yeah, image size should be enum. Let's do image size of enum, and then we will declare few defaults like square HD and all that. We will just add those. Square HD, square, portrait, and we will set that as the default. Portrait 16:9, landscape 4:3. So we will let users select one of these, right? I don't want to do anything crazy for now. I want to play with custom values. And then yeah, prompt image size. What else do we need? Number of inference steps. That will be set by us. It will be a constant. Seed, don't care. LoRa, yeah. So here we will do a just LoRa URL. LoRa URL. Because in our app, at least for now, we are just going to use one URL, but later if we decide to change this, we can add this as a multi-line. Sorry, it's into an array. Control net don't need it. Guidance scale, we need that. Guidance scale, is it a text or let me see. Guidance scale is an integer. So we will do a decimal because it can be different for different stuff. Okay. And what else? Num images. We will set that here and enable safety checker. That also, it will be a Boolean. We'll do that, and default will be true. Okay, because we don't want people creating naked pictures of themselves on our app. Very unprofessional. All right, so prompt, size of image, LoRa URL. I'm thinking, should the LoRa URL be a list or just LoRa? We'll make it a list actually. So if it's a list, that means it's an array. Okay. Then decimal, guidance scale, enable safety check. Number of inference steps, we can add that too. I think that's a good idea, and we will set it to a default value. So number of inference steps, integer, number of inference step, default value 50. Okay, so we will do all of that. Now it's time to import our API. Okay, so we will import external API, import the curl URL, prompt will be whatever we set in prompt. Okay, image size will be whatever we set in image size. and number of inference steps is whatever we set in number of inference steps. LoRa's is what we get in LoRa's. Okay, guidance scale, what we set into guidance scale. Number of images, we'll hard code it. Enable safety checker. Enable safety checker. Okay, so basically everything other than number of images is now converted into a variable. That is good. And this will be please say no. This will be the environment variable for file auth. All right. Cool. Now I am going to send a prompt, see if it even works. Abby standing in front of Eiffel Tower, smiling, standing and smiling, wearing t-shirt and jeans. Eiffel Tower in the background, tourists around. Okay, image size, we have said that LoRa URL will be supplied by our model. Okay, we will use the S3 bucket thing. We'll use that. And guidance scale, enable safety checker, number of inferences true. Okay, let's run this. I'm not very optimistic. 422. What was that? Value is not a valid. DICT. Location LoRa's 0. Yeah, this is what I thought is gonna happen. Like this. LoRa control net is a list. LoRa's list of LoRa weight. Oh, okay. So in LoRa has to have a path and scale. I wish they gave us an example of how that should be. But let's looking at this, I guess it should be a JSON. So inside LoRa, we need to create a JSON. It's gonna look, let me open my notepad and try to create a JSON. All right. So instead of just putting in the URL, right? What we're gonna do is we will do a JSON, and the JSON should have a path scale. Okay, path. We need path. Oh, I realized I'm looking at the other screen. Okay, so path, we need this, and we need scale, and default of that will be 1. So this is the JSON, and JSON should be inside a yeah, should be inside it like this. Let's see. Okay, LoRa format. Okay, so let's try this. Text filter requires a scalar value. LoRa URL is set as a. Okay, let's remove this and add LoRa as a JSON, but an object. Okay, so JSON LoRa's. I'm gonna call them LoRa's, and this will be a list because LoRa's. Okay, and this LoRa's can go, and this LoRa URL can also go. Oh, bro. Now I gotta. Okay, LoRa's. Okay, now I'm gonna write in the prompt Abby standing and smiling. Um, Eiffel Tower in the background, crowded with as realistic. I'm gonna set this as a default prompt because I will have to type this multiple times, I'm pretty sure. Then there is the type of image, guidance scale, safety checker, number of inferences, LoRa's. We are going to run. Unable to locate LoRa URL. Yeah, I know why that's happening. We gotta change LoRa URL to LoRa's. Okay, 422 again. Failed to download LoRa, wait. Failed to get remote file properties or yeah, this can be a serious error. Oh, I deleted it from my S3 bucket. I'm sorry. I gotta run create model once more. So I have a proper URL because what happened was I'm a clean freak when it comes to not in real life. If you see my desk and room, you would never, I mean, my wife would say I'm not even close to being a clean freak. But when it comes to folders, definitely a clean freak. So I deleted the files, which I shouldn't have. But now, since we ran this, we have the config files again. And if we refresh, we should have a proper diffuser file. So we are going to put this in and I'm going to run this again. Boom, 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 boom. It's taking its time, which is kind of good in my opinion. Operation time. Oh shit. Operation timeout. We gotta set the timer to. I'm gonna give it 3 minutes. All right, 3 minutes is 180 seconds. So let's give it 200 seconds. Okay. And I'm gonna publish this, and I'm gonna run again. Meanwhile, I can also look at the requests. I have few in progress. Logs. Oh yeah. So the first step is to basically download the LoRa file, right? That is why it's taking some time. Oh, there you go. Wow, actually that kind of looks like my uh, brother, not me, but close enough. Man. Okay, if I like put this in a small screen, it kind of looks like me. I want to show this to my wife. വന്നേ ഇത് കണ്ട ഞാനാന്ന് പറയല്ലേ but still she approves. Okay, let's see if we got a response. 200. That's great. We got our image response, and image is in inside a array. The reason for that is image has to, well, we can supply multiple image requests. So that would be the reason. Now what I want to do is create I want to like instantly take this image and push it to my S3 bucket so that I can use it for I mean, these guys delete everything, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from API 1. I'm going to say file response object, right? And then I'm going to update. And I'm also going to create a variable. And then I'm going to say, okay, variable name file response object, and we'll just paste that, and that will be a raw JSON. Okay, so this way I don't have to ping it because I just run this and I will get this response for my testing purposes. Okay, what's next? We will take each of this and upload to our Dropbox. All right. So what I need to do is I need to do few things. First is I need to keep this as a record in my database. So I'm gonna add enter. So and then what I'm gonna do is generate images, all right? And no CRUD endpoints. I don't want people reading data from this without my permission or the permission of the user. And immediately after this is created, I need to log this onto this table. I also want to know who is the user, user ID. Okay, so or maybe it should be done in the endpoint. This should just respond with the result. That's all, honestly. So we just respond with the result, right? So file response get file response object, and we will respond with the result. Okay, so now this is how it's gonna look like. Why is it rookie error? Sorry. Let me get the object. Object subpath, and we are going to go to response and result, and I forgot to remove this. That's why. Now you can see there is images, which is an array. Timings doesn't really need it. We need the prompt because I want to log the prompt and everything. So this will be the function which will create the LoRa, right? And now that I'm thinking about this, I think I just need to, I don't want to build this to do this like this stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a single LoRa URL. Okay, and if condition, if this single LoRa URL is not null, then that means a single LoRa URL is submitted, right? Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create LoRa's create variable, okay, and after creating variable, I'm gonna call it LoRa's array, and this will be blank. I'm gonna push an element, an object. All right, yeah, and this object should have set path will be the single LoRa URL, and it will also need a scale, right? Scale will be 1. All right, so we will use a LoRa's array, and we will do the same. Else LoRa's array should be equal to LoRa's whatever LoRa has that. Actually, LoRa's array needs to be a array, and we will push LoRa. Should we do this? Actually, you know what? No, because LoRa's is an array. Okay, now I am going to stop and debug. I want to know how LoRa's array looks like. All right, I'm gonna run. So this is how it's gonna look like. So LoRa's path, scale, and this. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now we need to include that in here instead of just saying LoRa's. So LoRa's array okay, LoRa's array. We gotta create this first, and instead of create, it should be update variable LoRa's array, and it will be a blank array, and we will push one object, and we will set path, and the value will be single LoRa URL, and we will also set a scale, and that would be just 1, right? So that's what we will do instead of create, and we will duplicate this, and instead of create here, we are going to just use LoRa's. Okay, now this is how LoRa's array is gonna look like. Okay, I'm gonna delete this. This is how LoRa's array is gonna look like. But if I supply a single LoRa URL, then the game changes, right? So this way I can do both. If I want to supply both URLs, I can. If I don't want to supply both, I just want to supply one, I can do that as well. All right, most probably I will be just submitting a single LoRa file. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Now we gotta use this inside our LoRa array. Okay, LoRa. Why are we not getting? Oh, I think I'm kind of stupid now. I typed in LoRa's array instead of LoRa. That's why I wasn't getting stuff done. Okay, LoRa, LoRa. Okay, array. Yeah, I've heard people say Indians win most of the spelling bees, but if I were to compete, I would be disqualified on the. I wouldn't even be let in as a spectator for that event. Okay, that's how bad my spelling is. Okay, I'm gonna disable this. I'm gonna enable the API just once more, and I will disable the get. I don't want get for now. I want to see the entire response. All right, so we're gonna run with a single LoRa URL. I'm not even gonna supply a LoRa right now. I'm just gonna send a single LoRa URL, and that is it. So create variable. Yeah, we just ran it. Let's go to file, see if something is in progress. Okay, we have something in progress, and I'm gonna open it up. It is loading. Ah, okay. While we wait, we have a visitor. All right. Wait for this to load. It is saying uploading images. Do we have an image? I think we do. We have one. Okay. That doesn't look like me. Dada. He recognized me. All right, cool. Okay, so doesn't really look like me. Kind of looks like I got hit on the face by a bus. Anyway, a bad training done to this LoRa, but this is what it is. Okay, so we have the URL now. That now I'm gonna copy this and use this as a sample. Right, raw JSON. Okay, so now I am going to disable the API request so that I don't have to spend money to test every time, and I'm gonna go and apply a get filter to get a response dot result. All right, save, run. There you go. This is what we're gonna get as response. I don't really care about timings or seed or has NSFW or prompts. Oh, actually, I care about prompts. So every time we create or we get an image, we will need to log it into our table. So we will do that as the next step. So this was us creating the function to generate images, and we are generating images and we are getting this back. So that will be the next step.